Hey everyone, this is Mike and welcome to 5 Minute Astro.
Okay, this is some data that I recorded a couple of nights ago on a one-shot color camera with a Optilong L enhanced filter. That's a dual band narrow pass filter. This so I'm go What I want to do with this data is I want to put it in the Hubble palette, the false color palette, and there's a way to do that in Serial that I'm gonna run through right now. So the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna show you my working directory is set to uh, the IC 5070, which is the Pelican Nebula, which is what this is. I got my darks, my biases, my flats, and my lights, so I'm all ready to run. So I'm just going to go here and I'm going to go to scripts and I'm going to do the one shot color, extract HA and O3, and I'm going to hit go. Now I'm going to be following the workflow that Rich at Deep Space Astro did, and hopefully I'm just going to run through it. I'm going to show you how what my results are following that workflow. So we're going to let this run, and then I'll be back in a minute. All right, we're back. The script finished executing, and what we ended up with, and I'll show you here in my results, we ended up with a new folder called results. And in this folder, we end up with a result HA and a result O3. So the first thing I'm going to do with those is extract the background. Now, Rich used the serial extraction. I prefer for these ones, I found that the GraXpert worked a lot better. So I'm just going to load these into GraXpert and I'm going to let the AI script run, maybe just check a couple of these guys, make sure they're all in good spots. Remove background on the stars. Okay. And we will going to use the AI background extraction and let it go extract the background. Okay. The other thing that I found helped a lot was denoising the image. I'm going to let the denoising thing run. That will take a minute. We'll save this result, and then I will repeat this process on the O3, and I'll see you back here in a minute. Okay, we finished in GraXpert, so I'm going to go back into Serial, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make my home directory the results directory now, because this is the directory I'm going to be working in. And I'm going to go to image, and I'm now going to recombine those two images. I'm going to go to pixel math, and uncheck that use a single RGBK expression, and I'm going to add the two files that I just background extracted in. So the HA and the O3 GraXpert. I'm going to open them up, add them in. They come in as HA and O3. So for the red channel, that's just going to be the HA. For the blue channel, that's going to be the O3. And then we're going to use the expression for the green channel. And the recommended one that a lot of people seem to like is HA times 0.6 plus 0.4 times O3. Enter that in, hit apply, and there is, I'm going to just auto stretch this image so we can see what we got. And that is kind of the first cut at what we have. So we're going to close the pixel math because that gave us what we want. We're going to clean this image up a little bit and then get rid of the stars. So going to go to geometry, do a crop now. Be careful not to crop these images before you go to GraXpert or something like that, because they would be different shapes or different sizes. The crops wouldn't be the same, so they wouldn't necessarily work. You wouldn't be able to put them back together. I'm just going to crop the edge, get rid of the stacking artifacts like so, apply the crop. We're going to do a little color calibration. Now, normally we would use the photometric color calibration, but that doesn't work when you come in like this with the two separate colors and you use the pixel math. So what we're going to do, first thing is background neutralization. So pick some of the darkest background you can find. Doesn't have to be a big spot. Hit use current selection and do background neutralization. Now what we want to do is select our main image like so. Hit use current selection and apply. And we're good to go there. Okay, close. Now we got to get rid of the stars to do any further processing. So we're going to go down to star processing. You should have StarNet installed, StarNet removal, pre-stretch the linear image, and execute. That'll take a few minutes to run, so I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, StarNet is finishing up, and here we have our image. Looks good. Now we just got to stretch this a little bit. Now stretching this image is a little tricky, so we're going to go into the generalized hyperbolic stretch. However, we're going to go to the modified arc cinch, and we're going to use human or even weighted. I prefer human weighted, and we're going to have to stretch it quite a bit before we see anything. So we're going to stretch this over. Let's see, stretch it some more. Okay. Now, what we want to do here, and what we really is make the blue pop. So with that, we're gonna, let's see, you just gotta, this is gonna be mostly to taste. There's not necessarily right or wrong way to do this. So I'm gonna go into linear. Oh, I forgot to apply that stretch. Go back to modified arc cinch. Yeah, okay, apply. Okay, now I'm going to go into linear stretch, knock the black point back a little bit without clipping the image to there. Apply, go back into the modified arc cinch, stretch it a little more. Yeah, so that's looking pretty good. We can play with doing some individual channel stretching. Yeah, the blue's getting a little bit overcooked in some spots. I'm going to back off a little bit. All right, apply it. Now here, I'm just gonna try doing the independent channel values a little bit. I'm gonna try messing around with the symmetry point. I'm gonna pick a blue, use that as the symmetry point. Turn off the red and the green, stretch the blue a little bit. I think that looks pretty good. Apply that, I'm gonna come back, work on the green and the red channels. I'm not gonna do a symmetry point on those. Yeah, so this is basically just hitting it to where you like it. I think that looks pretty good. We actually stretched off the black point a little bit, so we can probably knock that back point back a little bit. Make sure we have all three channels selected. Knock that flip. Yeah, okay, starting to clip right there. Yeah, that looks pretty decent, in my opinion. Close it, and now we can throw our stars back in. So star processing, star recomposition. Oh, yeah, cancel. We have to save our file here. We have not saved the file. So I'm going to save this as my Starless pixel math results. I'm going to overwrite that file. That's the unstretched file. Okay, so now we're saved, good to go. Now we can do the star recomposition. Starless pixel math results. And then we're going to also open up the star mask. Okay. Now, before we move it over, I can hit that black point back. Let's see, we're going to stretch it anymore. Yeah, stretch it a little bit. Yeah, it's overcooked. And I'm going to knock the black point back a little bit. Or clipping. Yeah, just like, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure that did it. I'm going to reset that. I don't think I'm just going to leave the image the way I had it. Okay, I'm going to go to advanced. I'm going to move the star mask to, sorry, I'm going to move the star mask to independent channel values. And I'm going to stretch the stars. In general, I don't like my stars that bright, so I'm going to try and back the stars off. And I can try the arc cinch, yeah. The arc cinch about halfway seems to give me pretty nice stars. And in general, yeah, I'm pretty happy with a result like that. So we're going to apply this and close it. I'm going to save this image now as my star recomposition results. And then I'm just going to mess around with the contrast a little bit. The color saturation, again, this is just a taste. Usually, I'm just looking to make this image pop, that area pop a little bit. You can do saturation as many times as you want. Just gonna look at the orange, brown, yellow. Let's see if we can. Yeah. Some people don't like the gold. I personally kind of like it, but yeah, I think I'm just gonna bump it up a little bit more on the global now. Yeah, I'm overcooking the blue on the bottom, so I'm gonna back it back off. Down here is probably overcooking the blue a little bit. Yeah. But anyway, that is a workflow that I think is pretty easy to run through and gives you pretty nice looking results in the the false color Hubble palette. Um, this isn't going to give you the same results as a mono camera, and in particular, the reason that's not going to give you the same results. First of all, you're giving up some resolution because you're basically turning your pixels. You have 4 pixels. You're turning them into. You're using each you're splitting the 4 pixels into different channels, whereas if you had a mono camera at the same resolution, you would get 4 individual pixels. You would just have to take 4 different images with 4 different filters. So you're giving up some resolution to get this color palette. The other thing is you can put separate filters on to get to separate the hydrogen alpha and the sulfur. Those things are really close in wavelength. They both look pretty red. And Hubble, this is really the whole reason for the Hubble palette. The Hubble palette splits those 2 colors into 2 different false colors, puts the sulfur, I think it signs it as green or something. I don't remember off the top of my head, but with a one-shot color camera, dual bandpass filter, there is no way to separate those two. You have to the hydrogen alpha and the sulfur just get lumped together in one single color. So it's not as good of a Hubble palette as you would get doing a one-shot color doing a mono camera with many different filters, but it looks pretty nice, and it's if one shot is all you got. This is a pretty good way to get the results that look pretty similar to other people's. All right, guys, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments. Have a good day.
Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow me on Instagram. Thanks, everyone.